Hello and welcome back to The Verdict after an epic weekend of rugby. Records have been broken, the history books have been rewritten, and the Boks are back. Massive game on the weekend. What a performance by the Boks. The Boks are back, but so is Shimmy.
With one leg. I left my other leg in New Zealand.
No, Shimmy, awesome to have you back. I must say Flecky was good value on the show. But it's never the same.
No, it's not the same. He also made some bad bets for you as well.
Oh, did he?
Just to boot. Yeah.
Why did you give it to Flecky, please?
Yeah, he was backing.
I'd rather give it to his son.
He was backing the All Blacks. he was backing the All Blacks in the second Test match. Shimmy, talk to us. Injury? How did it happen?
Okay. Before we get to the injury, let's just let the rugby remain the highlight.
Okay.
Give us a quick.
Are you sure the rugby's going to stay there?
No. I mean, your views on that game. What a performance, especially the last 40 or the second 40. It was as clinical as we've seen from the Boks.
Yeah, look, I've been on many of these tours and commentated. We've all been around the Springboks. This has got to be, outside the 2 World Cup wins, this has got to be the performance number 3. I mean, that second half, I was sort of shocked even afterwards. And I spoke to some of the New Zealand commentators and they were like, there was no... there's no feeling at halftime that, this was going to happen. It was going to come out like this, or the result was going to be like this. But you got to say, when Rassie named the team on Monday, I think he controlled the narrative from day one, because the whole chat, it was a young backline, it was this, etc., etc. Yeah. But the performance, and you got to mention a guy like Damian Willemse. I mean, he was on another planet on the weekend. Yeah. He was in the zone properly. But what a performance. I was on the flight with some of the guys, Scala. When the air hostess walks around with a champagne or water, like 3 mimosas. So it was good to see the guys celebrate, and they thoroughly deserve it.
I would say it's the full 80. I mean, we laid the foundation in the first 40, and maybe we got a bit more reward out of scrums. Maybe we were a bit more accurate. I think that Daniel would have broken earlier. But the fact of the matter is, we dominated so many areas that the ball was in the air behind the All Blacks. They were forced to turn around, run back. Every collision went South Africa's way. Set piece, we grew as our scrum was so dominant. Our line-out was sorted out. But the aerial game was what really bullied them. They were running backwards. They were hanging by a thread by the end of that first half. Second half, they capitulated. And it was only when we got scoreboard pressures. The biggest moment for me was that scrum right after halftime. Yeah. Our sub-timing perfect. Volkulo comes on, penalty advantage, and the try off the back of that. As soon as scoreboard pressure happened, we had 70% territory at that time.
Yeah.
And they hung themselves, too many failings in their game plan, too many, soak tacklers. And I mean, as far as brutal Bok rugby goes, this is right on top of it. And you add on to that, what enhanced our physicality is the fact that away we went from the one-pass ruck we saw the last 2 games, Cape Town Test match and Dunedin, we played the link-up game. Yeah. Direct, but tip passes, stay on top of the breakdown, and you see that through the scoot from Siya Kolisi, you see it through a lot of pick and goes, you see it through Kobus Reinach, Grant Williams, Damian Willemse, and last week we were nervous when they announced the team just because of the fear factor. We all said if they get it right, we can beat the All Blacks. I thought by 10. I didn't see 43 coming. Yeah. But we needed one man to step up, and that was Damian Willemse. And my word, how good was he?
And it wasn't just him. I think we needed one to stand up, but I mean, we had so many standing up. And, that first half, we were in studio as well, and we were saying, you're 10-7 behind, but there's just a feeling that we had so much dominance. And if it wasn't for the 2 disallowed tries, it could have been so different. But you certainly going into the change room feeling confident from a South African point of view.
Yeah, and you look at the territory for me is the big thing. Forget about position. You can run the ball all day in your 22-meter area. New Zealand, for some reason, they can't catch a high ball. I don't know what, it's a coaching error or whatever. They're kicking game. They cannot win the kicking game. Yeah. It started against France. They sort of managed to get away with it. And also the back-to-back. So the big question was listen, we can win one test. Can we double up and do another one? They're saying Wellington, no, never make the All Blacks must never play in Wellington again. No, it's got nothing to do with Wellington. When we beat them the first test, no one spoke about the reffing that, listen here, there was a bit of dodginess around the ref. You accept that we won the game, but there were things that weren't our way. No, it was we won. Every time a South African mentioned the ref, it was we're complaining. Yes. This time the ref was a lot better. He penalised certain things. We got reward from the scrum, and then the chickens came home to roost properly.
But even the first half, we didn't get our own way.
Yeah, in the scrum we didn't.
We didn't get the return on the scrums, or a couple of calls that again I thought didn't go our way, and you kind of felt
you complaining South Africa.
Like if you take anything out of the 2 test matches, like we had 13 entries, 22 entries in the first game. They had 4. They scored 3 tries. We had 17 entries on the weekend. That's 30 entries into the 22
games.
In the 2 games. We scored 8 tries.
Yeah. And New Zealand this time around had entries and couldn't convert in the second game. You know, some mistakes that they made.
Take nothing away. Conceded. I think their try they scored.
Brilliant.
Was one of the all-time greats.
The coast to coast
skill execution, and that was pretty much the bulk of their 22 entries. Was the 30 seconds or 25 seconds they were in our half. But that try came from a scrum, short arm, and then they just went side to side. And I think that was their plan, is to stretch. You know, the first test match was how do we get a result. Second test match is how do we prove a point. Tempo, side to side. Their first set was also not scared to go 15 metres back and try and play around the Springboks, and it worked once out of 80 minutes. And they've always got that ability. But the rest of the game, as soon as they try to go coast to coast, give up on the gain line, they got absolutely hammered. And the problem is the ball was behind their pack of forwards the entire game.
Yeah. And I think that's where the credit must really go to Rassie, all the coaching staff and the players. Because you fielded a less experienced team, certainly a far less experienced backline, a backline that's never played together before. But then also you had injuries. Loete Jager, 9th minute. You know, Kobus Reinach goes off HIA. Sasha goes off HIA, doesn't return. Fussy goes off. So you had to reshuffle the whole backline, and still it worked. Yeah. So that shows an element of maturity within that squad, even though they were up against it, they were still able to stick to their guns and execute. Now, let's start with the analysis. And I think the big elephant in the room is, like, Shimmy, what happened to you? Was it? Can you just explain what? Can you explain?
Are you right, Shim?
Can you explain what happened to you? Is that what happened?
Who's that guy?
Down the slopes of Wellington.
Look,
what happened?
It was a Springbok at now. Just when I thought we were getting serious now. I was at Springbok training at the Jerry Collins Stadium.
Yeah.
It's a club field. I mean, with a little stand there, but there's a little bit of a hill, it's a small hill.
Yeah.
Not that bank, you know.
Yeah.
So on the other side. So I was just curious to see during training. Let me go have a look. And I also wanted to watch the Springbok training from the back just to look at the attack. So I walked up the hill, had a look. It was a B field, boring. Then as I was walking down, it's a little bit slippery. So I was like, geez, this feels slippery. And then as I looked down, my foot slipped. Now, instead of your foot going all the way out the way and you fell on your backside, it got caught in the mud. And then my knee, basically, I fell down this way. And I heard a pop in my knee. Then I tumbled down.
Sorry for laughing. I'm sorry for laughing.
Funny, not funny.
Exactly. I ended up tumbling down. And my first thought was no one would be able to see me because I've just disappeared out of sight. I'm behind the advertising.
You're already down the back of it.
But I threw the biggest F-bomb I could behind there. Then the liaison officer said, shucks, I heard that pop. What happened? Is it your Achilles or not? I said, no, it's my knee.
Yeah.
Then he called the doctor. Doctor came with Dr. Jerome and Andy Robin, the physio. They came, took me. But I'm walking past the hall, so Rassie sees me. He's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like, now I'm becoming this unwanted distraction. They're playing the All Blacks this weekend. Here am I.
There's a bigger movement. Shimmy just got injured.
Exactly. I'm limping down the side. He puts me in the car. First thing says, pain out of 10. I'm like, Doc, this is probably past 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So I'm sweating now because of the pain. And when they drag me to the car, we're in the car there, gets out, brings out this pipe.
The little peace pipe.
Yeah. I was on another planet.
Jubilee.
Exactly.
Jubilee.
He said, just take puff and then obviously inhale, exhale with your nose. I think I did it about 30 times in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Gave me the morphine into the car straight. But by that stage, you're on another planet because of the morphine's kicked in and this pipe has kicked in. Got put on a trolley outside the hotel because there's no wheelchair. Trolley into the lift. Up into my room, down there, then I saw the doctor later. And
it's funny you should say that because
trolley.
here we go.
Is that the trolley?
That was me.
So
you can see the mud on my pants on the other side.
I spoke about the elephant in the room. Is that an elephant trolley that they use?
that is the elephant in the elevator.
Check that. So there's no trolley. So that was straight up to my room. Shoes off.
So all the king's horses and all the king's men came and they helped Humpty Dumpty and stuff.
They couldn't put Humpty back together again.
They couldn't put Humpty together again.
And then from then on, it was just crutches, ice, compression,
and then an entrance at the game, Shimmy. Huh?
Guys, hold on, I can explain that one. Look. Check out Marshy, my chaperone there.
Check Marshy looking after you. I was so concerned about you.
Oh dear, Shimmy.
No, Marshy was as soon as Marshy saw me, he started filming me.
Thanks, Guy.
We just couldn't get a wheelchair for this episode. We actually wanted to have one for you, yeah.
And that was it. It was the distance between walking up and down.
Marshy's loving it.
There were guys in the crowd. As the guys were wheeling me past, the guys go, Shimmy, was it really? Was it this?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we called it out. Yeah, we were like, no, definitely. So it's a bar injury.
That's the story you're going with, right?
Yeah, that's true story.
Okay, Shims. Thanks that we can laugh
Who's
at
that
you
guy?
for. We can laugh at you for a while. We've been in we've been in that position a lot.
Yeah,
so,
you have. Yeah, Scala, you also have.
Yeah, we've both had it.
But you're hoping for a quick recovery.
Up tomorrow.
You know what's? So you're not going for the MRI scan?
No, we're this afternoon.
You're skipping that.
No, a lot of Dormicum. I'm going to be another planet again. And then you must give me the magic dragon again.
I think we'll definitely go pay you a visit, Jim. Yeah.
Okay, guys. We're taking the cameras with and visiting you in the hotel. Let's start with the actual analysis. What I've done, I've basically clipped the game as it started, as it progressed. Okay, the first one we get to is the dominance that we showed within the game, but then the disallowed try. So great play by the Boks.
Yeah.
No return on the scrum.
We got penalty advantage.
Penalty advantage.
Yeah. Perfect option.
Beautiful.
Great execution. Amazing work by Jordie Barrett.
Yeah.
Boks, when we get scrum advantage, it's almost like 9 out of 10 times we go score. What I loved about us on the weekend, take nothing away from Jordie Barrett, the highlight is how we kicked in shape.
Yeah.
After the reward from winning the aerial battle, we kicked in shape. And by kicking in shape, it's the best way to have numbers floating on the ball. Such an amazing option. But how's that work rate from Jordie Barrett? We see it in the second half. Grant Williams, Will Jordan scores that 9 out of 10 times. Yeah. He grabs him.
JDV, just a quick one. Also, the way we started the game. Yeah. We went to that midfield bomb.
Yeah.
Fassi gets it back. All of a sudden, we're on the attack. We've got them under pressure. So I think the mindset was a little bit different. The traditional way Boks would kick right, wait them box kick, put pressure, attack from the line out. The fact that we kicked short took them, won the aerial battle, and we got into a general play, and guys got their hands on the ball, also helped quite a lot.
But also just to compare the first test match versus this one, the first test match we were under the pump from the very first second of the game.
Yeah.
14-0 down very quickly. This time around, we had the dominance, we had the territory dominance and possession, but we weren't able, again, 11 minutes on the clock already, we'll get to 12 minutes. We get the disallowed try, we then kick it out, we don't get a return, and now again here, great attack,
good Damian,
don't get the return.
But big change for me in our mindset. It was how flat we are. Look at the change in the 22 on the gain line.
On the gain line.
Kobus Reinach again, look at the next carry. Flat on the gain line. Short pass, no chance for the defence to come up. Onto the gain line, RG Snyman over, gets picked up for a little knock-on by Kobus Reinach. But how dynamic we were at the ruck is completely different to the previous 2 weeks where we were like one pass to the pod, almost back to 2019. How dynamic we were here is almost like, you don't want to compare us to France, but how France goes about it in the 22. like stay on top of it, all 15, flood through the gates, try and stop us if we can. And we had so much physical dominance into this game that the All Blacks eventually just, like people say they gave up. They didn't give up. They just ran out of puff.
Yeah. The urgency at the breakdown was what,
yes.
On quick ball, Sasha can take the ball flat, Willemse can come in. But as soon as they saw the lights come on, as soon as that free kick was given, who's up there taking, say, give me the ball. Damian Willemse, get a little bit of meters, good placement, then it's action on action there. Again, we were completely dominant here. Obviously, this knock on here called. But then, I thought, okay, cool. We're doing the right things, we're asking the right questions, and everybody wants the ball.
And it's a correct call as well. So let's just be very clear about that.
Yeah.
The concern we felt within in the studio at that stage was we've got this dominance.
Yeah.
We're not able to get points on the board. New Zealand will probably get the ball once and score a try from it. And that is exactly what happened. We only see the last part of this, but side to side to side to side to eventually scoring it. Good, again, great defense in the edges, but we just ran out of numbers eventually.
I mean, this is their plan, I think, was to go coast to coast. And skill execution off the charts. Beautiful try on debut, Carter gets in. But that started from their own 10-yard. How deep they started playing it was a short arm from a scrum. And this is the only time it worked against us. There's opportunities for them to unlock us later in the game. But by that stage, they were run off their feet. Skill execution wasn't, and decision-making wasn't good. They kicked a lot in the second half to us as well. But that was a byproduct from being absolutely, pushed back into your own half, and they started feeling scoreboard pressure. And that's why, for me, just after halftime, that second try we scored was off the charts important for us.
This is you look at the Razor blueprint, this is probably it. You could hear them before the game talking about how they want to play with tempo. There's a feel there that they can outrun you. They almost match us at set piece and can outskill us. That's their whole. But the reality is then you got to match us at set piece. And they didn't manage to do that. But there's so many other things. Like I still don't get the kicking.
Yeah.
Scala, I don't understand how Will Jordan, Damian McKenzie, these guys cannot get up in the air and field a high ball.
If I've got with them, I don't think they've got such a clear, dedicated shape as us. Like, if we play with Tony Ball, as we name it now, like, our shape's quite clearly identified. Like the 3 or 4 or 9, depends if that fourth guy is there. The 2 of 10, and this weekend we played the direct options more often than not. With them, yes, their pot of 9 is sort of identified, but post that, it's all a little bit lateral. No one's got a clear job of how to create it. They've got their forwards roaming in the trams, and that's all good and well until you get cut off. If you get cut off, then they sort of disjointed midfield ruck. Where do they go to? And they've got to return to the boot, unfortunately. So, the Boks was supreme.
So another example just of how they were able to get under our skin a little bit, which we saw in the first test match. And even though our rucks were far better in this game, there were elements of sloppiness. And again, there we see.
Was there a hand in there?
Yeah,
there was.
There was a hand in there.
Bowden Barrett.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is that up until this stage, we were playing well. We were playing the kind of rugby that we wanted them to play, but we weren't seeing it. And you'll just see
So Bowden Barrett's strap wrist.
Just strap wrist there. Holds on to the ball and there.
Gets the knock on.
So
if the referee picks that up, that's professional.
That's cynical.
Foul.
That's a yellow.
Yeah.
But where's the TMO then?
Yeah, but
Where's
it
the
happened,
TMO?
and it's
just before that, taking account, he came in board for the knock on.
Yeah.
And
Where's the TMO?
Yeah.
But decisions like that could potentially have a massive influence eventually in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't spot that. And it felt in a way as if the game was at a tipping point where we didn't get return on our attack. We didn't get return on the amount of possession and territory we had. And then also they were getting under our skin. Kobus Reinach's second knock on there at the rack, Tupovai, laughing, clapping at him. And you could see the emotions getting the better of them. But it didn't happen and we stayed calm. Was that, in a way, the difference between last week and this week?
Yeah, look, first of all, I think the reason why there's so much talking to the ref in the beginning, it was a continuation from last week. Because what happens is, I think I get the feeling that players lose a trust in the ref, saying maybe the same thing's happening. You know, there's a knock on there, but there's a knock on against other. What's happening? Is it up against us? Whatever. That's why Amashikeli came in and had a chat towards it and saying, guys, there's too much chat there. But I thought originally you start thinking, okay, somewhere along the line, New Zealand are going to attack. We can't squander so many opportunities. They're going to get a chance, and eventually they'll score. And that's what happened when they got that try, that coast-to-coast try. So you start thinking to yourself, okay, we've got so many chances. Somewhere it needs to tick over and convert. But again, Scala, we're ticking all the boxes.
So that was our comfort, is where the game was getting played. You know, it's different if we were pinned in our own half, and then the kicking game was so dominant. Scoreboard pressure is what we called for at halftime in studio. We're sitting there going, like, as soon as we get our heads up front, they're going to hang themselves. Just wait till we get that. So when do we get ahead? Do we take the points? Because, like, I mean, we're also a little bit, you know, shell-shocked after last week's line-out performance. Then we kick our first line-out out. Poor execution on the lift that goes over the top. We squander our first opportunity. You think, are we watching a replay of the first Test match?
Okay, we'll have a quick break. When we come back, we will show you exactly where the turning point was and what happened after that.
Cody from Paul has sold multiple vehicles to WeBuyCars. Suspicious? I think so.
Is that a crime?
No. Where are you getting the cars?
I buy them and I sell them at the spot like a normal person.
Okay.
No, man, I'm just an accounting student. I know a good deal when I see one.
That's Excel meant. What's more stressful, tax season or selling a car at WeBuyCars?
Tax season, obviously.
WeBuyCars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Okay, so we were 25 minutes into the game and still no score from the Boks. But then this happened, and so many times we've seen the influence of an intercept and the change that gets created because of it.
John, you talk us through this intercept.
No, Scala actually talked us through it nicely in studio on the weekend.
He dummied and went.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is almost like a classical touches or sevens move where you actually dummy Billy Proctor, the ball carrier. You jink towards him and then he stands his ground. And Billy Proctor is one of those, we've all done them in the touches game where you let them go and you realise, I should have held on to it. And look where Cheslin comes from, closing in, jinks inside. And people often now go, you can't intercept with one hand. You know, if he knocks that on, they give him a yellow card. You go with the one hand, it sits in your hand.
But also, I think the thing is, it is taking it up and also getting his body, getting his body close and turning it so that it goes up.
But that little jink is spectacular. And that's a little subtlety you take for granted. And also, it's only Cheslin, he's such a good defender. Hard to read those situations. Does he just rush and try and get ball in man? He would have been too late. And plays with the defender, gets the intercept. Similar to what year did he do it for us?
2018, Because the thing is also...
In the context of the game, this was so important. Because we'd done so much to dominate with no reward.
Because if you... I just want to get to that. He takes away so many of the options. So he takes away... and I can't get to the piece now. But he takes away the option for the kick for 10 because he's staying back. So 10 makes the pass. As soon as he makes the pass, he comes up and again fills that last number in the line. And then even though there's a two-man overlap, he goes for that option. He's seen that picture before, exactly the same as in 2018, makes the perfect read, gets the interception. So again, it is a skill that comes with time, and he has now shown that he can get it right. If they get the pass away, it's a try. So it's a 14-point swing.
Also, like an area where I think we were better. Like we mentioned it last week, we had that sort of stagger in our defence, or that sort of pause.
Check.
Where we forgot our DNA is to defend the ball. Doesn't matter if they've got 4 or 5 numbers out wide. You can highlight those numbers, but you still got to try and get the ball there. And this weekend, special mention to Kanan Moody in defence at number 13.
Cut the wide options.
He cut the wide options down. And then it frees up a play like Cheslin to sort of come into his own, whether he's going for the intercept or going for the man and ball hit.
But sorry, John, I liked about the cuts the wide options, even if you miss the read, you could see the cover defense. Even there initially now, when I thought initially, even if you look back there with that Cheslin intercept, there was actually a couple of numbers coming behind him. Chances they would have made meters and there would have been space out wide. But at least there was someone there to actually cover. Say, listen, make your call, buddy, but we'll back you if you miss it.
Again, good decision making. I thought we were really good, and you've already touched on the Schalk, is staying on top of it. And this is just an example where the dynamic ruck, the offload, just the intent was just so much better. And that guy, Jasper Visi, his carries was phenomenal.
He was so
phenomenal.
good. I mean, if you take into account, he hasn't played for 6 weeks, has he? Aerial contest.
Aerial contest,
single
get
one
it back.
Every single one.
And it's...
But also, look who's over the ball. It's Sia over the ball, looking after it.
I mean...
But Damian, keeping it dynamic, play it, make a couple of meters.
people so often forget about Damian. He's had an injury ravaged season, but he's done this at fly for the Boks. He's done it at fullback. We've all had the inkling that I think 12 is his best position. Yeah. How good was Ethan Hooker?
But look, every battle.
Every battle we won. The gain line was ours for the taking. I love the fact, RG Snowman,
This was excellent.
Post contact's his strongest suit, but how we keep the ball alive. And often when you start offloading from the ground, you think, a lot of coaches think, well, that's where you get loose. If you have a number in front of you, you just run. It's almost like momentum touch, that drill we all played. You just stay on top of the ball, And that was phenomenal by the Springboks.
So, the pressure constantly, again, we were there. But the old...
It's hard to defend against that.
It is, because you can't get there.
It's almost
you
impossible.
Can't set your defense.
Yeah.
But the old issue that we've had was, again, 22-meter entries, not being able to capitalize on that. And that was a worry for us. You have all this dominance, but no scoreboard pressure. And also then, things like this happen, where we were caught unawares at times. Look at Bowden Barrett. He sees the space. Inexperience, a little bit of Ethan Hooker. This was also when Fussy was down injured. You see there in the bottom left corner. He's out injured. Referee doesn't stop the game.
I actually think Ethan was down in this.
Ethan was down as well.
Fussy and Ethan he had a blood win. There's Fussy apparently. We don't know yet, but it looks like quite
both ankle. He was in a moon boot, so he's
down,
going for a scan.
Both down. Medics on the field. You don't stop the game.
Sharp by Bowden Barrett,
100%. And
what
that's
is
the experience.
Mindset, good mindset, looking for a chance.
Getting the ball into the space. But you kind of got the feeling that they were trying to build momentum. But again, a massive change between last week and this week, because this line out, they don't execute. New Zealand. So they get the line out from that kick, throw over, we defend it better, and then we have a go.
I mean,
it's awareness when the ball's over the 15 to disrupt that thing.
And that's exactly it. Last week, we tried to get it over the 15. Wallace the TT disrupted. This week, they go over the 15. I don't think it's the call ever right there. Sia Khaleesi just steps across, bumps the back supporter. The lift goes missing. And then, I mean, one thing we've got to touch on is how's Damian Willemse close contact skills? And that's why we think 12 is his position. It's unbelievable.
His ability to use his feet also, Schalk, just within contact.
Poor decision there by Damian McKenzie. But guys, again, excuse me.
And this is a recurring theme of this entire game. Our exits and the big swings in this game. That was a 5-meter line out for them.
Yes, look where it ends
up.
up.
And if they play this through, just look at Bowden Barrett. Look at him quickly. Hands on head. Absolutely. That's just before halftime.
Knackered,
Broken. And that's not only him. It's all of the pack of forwards. And then when people say they gave up, they didn't give up. They were gassed. So every collision went the Springboks' way. The game was getting played behind them. And when you end up running backwards like that, you feel like you're chasing shadows. It's almost like the Springboks have 15 men running on the ball, and they've got 7 men trying to defend it. That's what happened this whole game. And this was, I mean, our timings for the subs in these 2 games have been just
immaculate.
Perfect. And I thought they also got the selection right with, I mean, Hendrik Wessels covers ground, but also like a loose forward.
Yeah, he runs.
So is that one kick where he's in the front line, in the chase line, he's up there trying to chase the New Zealand fullback or whatever it is.
Ruan
Orkeo, exactly. These guys got, I mean, there's some tide. I'd like to see the ball in play in this because it was probably one of the highest we've seen in the test match.
Like, if you look at our team setup, I don't think it's a fluke that we won the aerial battle. If you think what players we had on the field, Apelele Fussy,
Hooker,
Cheslin Kolbe, Damian Willemse,
Kanan.
One of them good in the air.
Kanan Moody. And, like our first kickoff sort of sums up our intention. Down the middle. Fussy wins it back. They kicked deep left the entire game.
And Jasper was great.
To Jasper carrying it up. Ethan Hooker against Carter McKenzie. Now, in 2015, we played a semi-final against them. We won the first 4, Brian Abana versus Nehe Molnaskada.
They swapped him.
And they swapped him with Smith.
Yeah.
He didn't miss another one. Like, Will Jordan is their best player in there.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he swap? Why isn't there, or kick it to the right? You know, try and change the narrative.
I actually saw Molnaskada, and he told me that. He said Habana was all over him.
Yeah.
Until they said, listen, Ben
you
Smith,
go fullback.
Cheers, swap that around.
It's what's needed in the moment.
And he didn't miss a single one.
Talking about what's needed in the moment, yes, Damian was selected at 12, but then with Fussy going off, moved to fullback. He was brilliant there. But this guy, and picture now as well, moving to 12, first play, dominant scrum. He's able to attract quite a few players with his carrying ability. Yeah, everything about this play was perfect. From the scrum all the way through to the try being scored.
We can talk through Sia there. I mean, that's unbelievable. Look at the All Blacks pack of forwards now. So here's the ruck is not formed. Look where they are. Sia, Adi Sevilla is supposed to get on the fold.
Yeah.
He's 20 meters from it.
What a pass.
And how's that for a ball?
That is a ball.
He's not renowned for his soft skill, but that face ball, going over the top of 4 All Black defenders.
But also perfectly on his hand as a left-hander.
As a left-hander,
But also, the Kiwis, just talking back to that scrum, I think it was the scrum coach, or forwards coach, said, look, and even Takayama said it's not going to happen again. What happened the last scrum? I was like, guys, be careful of what you wish for. Because one guy, Wilco, is a nice, chilled guy, but if he reads stuff like that, that is something that will get him going. And it was almost perfect that he came on. And it was a scrum like that. I mean, that is world class. Look how Jan-Hendrik Wessels gets underneath.
What I do want to show how extended Jan-Hendrik Wessels is there, and does his knee touch the ground?
For a brief moment, it does.
Yeah, yes. But he keeps going. Let's move on.
I'm just saying, we have to be.
You're right.
We have to be consistent in that.
If we want to sum up the current generations.
If he's going forward, then it tells the right picture.
If we want to show a blueprint of what the Boks rugby is about, you do that. And that, for me, was the moment. We got our noses in front, 14-10, and then the scoreboard pressure started to tell.
It was 36 unanswered in the second half.
That was the start of it, but this is where we got the dominance. And I think before I'm going to play it through, we've been speaking about the Boks getting the balance right. Okay? Not just going conservative and not playing at all, but also not just playing and not having that game management in place. And I think this is a great example of that. If we box kick, that's not a negative thing. If you execute it well and you can compete well, then you've got the possibility of getting it back. And from there, you can either attack or then kick from there. And that is where I thought we were brilliant.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of that. But to your point again, Schalk, they just couldn't catch anything.
No, and you'll see it's not only one. It's either he goes up against Carter or he goes up against Mackenzie. None of them commanded the aerial battle. Off the back of this, our intention was amazing. So keep on running, staying on top of the ball. Wait for someone else to make the decision when to kick. Don't slow it down. Don't go through number 9. What is our plan? Are we going to keep on carrying? Yes, we are. Lovely little options.
And boom.
Damian Willemse, kick and shape. And that, for me, was one of the biggest differences. We went from, the first testing against Australia, where we've lost our DNA completely, didn't kick enough off the back of those things, to doing none of it. And the balance this week was the key for me. But also the difference that it makes to have, like Damian at number 10, who's played a lot of fly. Yes, he's on fullback. His timing on the kick, on the ball, on the run was exceptional. That's the exit. We get the ball
60 meters.
60 meter exit.
The All Blacks, conversely, and again compared to last week, they couldn't get the upper hand. It's 17-10. They have a go, and I think defensively,
this was a big miss.
There was a big miss, and what I want to show here is that Grant gets it wrong because he's on the wing there. He gets it a little bit wrong.
He should have rushed up a bit quicker there.
No, he just should have been wider.
It's too narrow.
Yeah, it's too narrow. Sorry, too narrow.
Yeah. So you'll see him. He gets sucked in.
So again, the Barrett brothers kind of pulling the strings here. They're getting on our outside, but again, not the ability to finish it off. So you see Grant over there, and he just needed to start a little bit wider. So keep your eye on him and start wider. Stay on a man rather than into a space, or continue through and not have that check that Schalk already spoke about. Because there we go. See, there's a little bit of a check.
It's no man's land.
If he is there now, then that forces Barrett to hold onto the ball and take contact or make the pass
and then
which he can intercept.
Or he goes bridge pass, or you can get from them. You got to be in this blind spot, am I right?
Yes, and then the other guys can kind of, the scramble defense can get there. But what happens now is he checks, and by checking, he finds himself in no man's land. He's defending space rather than the ball or a man, and the pass actually beats him. As you see there.
And that's the hard thing about the way we defend. I mean, look, his pace is amazing.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like how he works back in to actually be in a tackling position.
Where he is there?
Yeah.
It's incredible. So he makes the turnaround, scoots back because he's realised.
Finest.
And he's just moved there. So like that's in that period where Kwagga went off for his HIA, then came back. And he got better at it as the game progressed. But it's the hardest part about being on the wing and not having a dedicated wing defending in that scenario.
But you need speed there to make up for your mess.
He's got plenty.
The All Blacks get a penalty. So again, 58 minutes into the game. Now, decision making. 58 minutes into the game, they had the penalty midfield, easy 3 points. Do you go 3 points, get a little bit closer, 17-13? Or do you kick for the line where you had success the previous week? And that has been the tendency of this All Black team. But the execution, nowhere near perfect.
This was a double bank.
It's
so clear.
It's a TT. You can get away with it if you're subtle with it, like where you sit and then you squeeze yourself forward, but you can't take up that space.
So far behind.
It's too far.
And for the referee, that's the first trigger. It's unfortunately, you can't get yourself in there. Even if you take up that space, but you're low and you're pointing square forwards, you're quite hard to pick up. But you can't turn your shoulder, you can't double bank. I think the thing with this test match, John, was the first test match the All Blacks needed to win. That's the only thing that mattered.
The record,
This weekend, they went out with a mindset where they wanted to play rugby. And that's a decision that's made on the back of what their mindset was in the week. And unfortunately for them, I think this week the Boks had a mentality of doing what's necessary.
Because that was us last week.
Yeah, but Scala, even that, it's an unnecessary penalty. You can get away maybe in the first test when the ref's not aware of it. Yeah. They would have sent video clips saying, guys, listen, the mauling's illegal. Have a look here. Whatever it is. Chances are, even if they had mauled and scored that, the TMO can still go back and say, listen, that's double banking.
100%.
So it's a silly one to do because you're actually not going to get away with it if you've got a good ref and a good TMO watching from the top.
So after that, we get the line out, and again, our exit,
Ethan Hooker,
our exit being able to put us in a position to attack. And there's
Jordie Barrett.
Again, guys, we said it earlier that they didn't make
there's Jordie Barrett.
The decisions and changes. I mean, the previous one was Leroy Carter. This one is Jordie Barrett. They did try.
But it's a combination. The kicker has to be good, first of all. But why is Barrett? I mean, surely he's got to go up in the air. He's almost waiting for Hooker from 20 meters out or whatever to get up and beat them on the jump. So he'll always take the space.
This was a midfield ruck. This was off a defensive line out. Jasper Wiese carries it miles over the gain line, and that's another thing. Like last week, we were getting counter-rucked, kicking not on our terms. This week, everything moved forward for us. So your nine's accuracy when you're moving forward, when that ruck is not 15 seconds or 25 seconds slow, when it's a 3-second ruck and you kick it. So hard as a defensive side to line yourself up. Yeah, they made a plan with Jordie Barrett in the back. He's nowhere to contest that ball. And then off the back of this is where I think we were so impressive.
The skills, nice. The linking between forwards and backs.
Again, not perfect, but the intent being there. And now once
the jet shoes.
Achievers.
Guys, this is an 80-meter exit. Yeah, it happens on our 22. And this was where, when they say the All Blacks gave up, they didn't give up. They were just absolutely pulverized through the ball being either above their heads or behind them. As a pack of forwards, you've just had a line out. You just got into the vacuum. You made a big hit there. Next moment, you've got to run to your 5 meter. And then everyone goes, look at this line out. Why they lose it? It's because you're running back. The referee's chasing you to get into the line. There's a mishap in the call. You're blowing. Skill execution is the first thing that goes wrong. In the box, we run towards the line out. We go, okay, this is ours.
No, you get energy. You get energy from the fact that you're making good decisions. You're on the front
going forward
foot.
the whole time.
Forward all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and even those the contestables, you get that back. You realize there's an opportunity. You get into your shape. Let's go again. You know. So the lights are always on the whole time.
Okay, guys, that's 60 minutes into the game. We're going to have a quick break again. Then we go into the last 20, which was by far the best part of the game. And the Boks just went into overdrive. Okay, guys, before the break, we showed 80 meter exit fires. Then after that, New Zealand gets this line out. We steal it. And from here, we just never look back.
Ronokia Tekaba. He was so patient, waited for the movement and went up at the right time. Because as a hooker, you think that movement is going to, they'll bite, and then the second or third movement is the one where the throws open. He did exceptionally well.
And also that 80 meter exit, it's so hard to run back and then get the call right. Give it to me, says Damian Willemse.
Boom.
I mean, that sums up the aggression we had this weekend. You know, often when you play the All Blacks, you see all these black jerseys in front of you, but you don't actually pick a weak defender or run at them and ask them to make a tackle. He was. I thought we went out the back too early there. I thought we should be patient.
And bad
initially,
pass.
that's what I thought initially. I was like, whoa.
And again, bad pass. You know, he kind of had to check, so he's got no momentum. But to your point earlier, Schalk, he is just so good with defenses on top of him. You know, the ability to get in the gap, so strong, strong leg drive, get over.
What's it saying? Run to score, not to set up another rack. A good tackle fight.
I mean, so often you can get stuck in your system, and it was a bad call or bad decision.
I think he was happy.
One good carry. Yeah, I mean, that changes the whole thing.
Then the kickoff, and again, where we just had such good control here. Jasper Wiese every single time was able to run it up. Look how controlled we are. You know, now scoreboard pressure. That you spoke about earlier. Scoreboard pressure is there, and you see that spiral coming. Not a great kick, but contesting the scraps. We were winning the scraps, and look again where we end up.
Guys, check the gain line.
This is good rugby.
Just check the gain line all the time. Every single time, Boks going forward.
You have a bit of a go.
What an option.
Yeah.
What's that? 60 meters again.
Every single time.
The scoreboard's ticking here at home. The crowd wants something. They can't believe what's happening.
No, you've got to force the issue. Look where they're playing from.
Yeah, and again, bad luck.
Bad luck.
You know, great kick, great option, but when it's like this,
catches the jet stream in Wellington.
That wind in that stadium is something else. You can't see it obviously here. It is some. You think you come in the stadium and you cover that. You cannot predict that wind. That is the wind just taking that ball over straight down.
But different day, different outcome.
Yeah,
it's just.
That's unfortunately
it's just one of those.
That's rugby. When it rains, it pours. Then your line-out starts going backwards.
Yeah.
Scrum was dominant. I mean, Jasper Wiese. Give it to me. I'll show you where it's going. It's going under my jumper, and we're going forward. He was incredible.
But Schalk, again, 14 points up. Not sticking to the structure. It has worked. It's not conservative to do this. It has worked. You put pressure on them. They catch the ball this time around, but it's just that flood of green through
but why try
to
pop
create
it back
that pressure?
You under pressure the guys on you. Chances are if you shove it to the next guy, he's going to get smashed.
And that's where I think mentally they were fried at this point, trying to chase the game. But also for us, lessons learned from last time we played Tony Ball up at Highveld. First 7 contestables, South Africa were dominant. All of a sudden, we stopped it. This game, we ask you to catch a contestable. If you're not catching it, we're playing off the back of it. But also then, in motion, pull the trigger on the boot.
And Scrum also grew another leg, even though Wilco seems a bit tired there. Nice start to play. S-rays are solid. And it's almost just too easy, this try.
Yeah. Again, I mean, you'd think, I don't think Kanan had to
No.
to pop that out the back. You know, like he's well over the gain line. But this is the picture you want to see. It's the All Blacks play from their own 22. And again, you get to that feeling where people say they gave up. They were gassed. You know, this doesn't happen against All Blacks.
I mean, it's
I
a
love this.
great run.
I love this.
What an option by Ethan Uka. He was exceptional.
But check next to him, Ruan Norkia.
Yeah.
Ruan Norkia, each guy there does what he needs to do in the moment. Mani,
Always looking for the option.
Clean from Mani, misses it a little bit. Ergia, strong clean.
Guys, look at
Again, on the advantage line.
Look at the faces, hands on hips, hands on knees. You know, like we're putting them under so much pressure.
But also because they're more Scala, there's no line speed.
Zero line
Now
speed.
you're just absorbing the whole time. Manilo Bok classic.
Yeah,
He
but the
calls
fact
that so beautifully.
And the fact that we take it out the back, so it's a pass to the forward, to a forward, with the options to play one of the forwards next to him, but also the option to play out the back. What that creates is this guy needs to come up. He can't stay back here. You know, if it was just straight to Mani and Mani cross kicks, he stays here. He's got the ability to go up and contest. But the fact that they go out the back, the line is solid. He needs to close out here.
The entire All Black side's in that picture.
Yeah. And Peter Steph du Toit keeping the width. Boom. Kwagga Smith.
Supersub Kwagga.
You got the feeling that this game is going to suit him. You can just see, because it was quite high paced, quite a lot of opportunities. There's quite a few scraps there. But Scala, and you mentioned it, the whole time all these tries came from us executing our shape ball. The box kick, getting it back, looking where the space is, looking whether to kick or run. So we're on the front foot the whole time.
The ball was
time.
in front.
Yeah.
We saw numbers on jerseys. I mean, this carry, like, good option.
Yeah.
Back yourself. And so often when you get the ball there, you're leading a game, you just kick it out, hack it out 5 meters, and they get all the momentum.
I saw him after the game. He said he was tired.
I can imagine.
He says, I was gassed.
There's a lot of running as a wing. You need to cover a lot of ground. And that's why he did so well, covering the ground there. And then
to go back.
And then having the will to also counter.
It's called a second effort. A repeat effort, John.
Stick to your guns. Contestable kick. No one hardly competing. Kanan free run.
Don't pass it.
One carry.
Look at that.
This gain line for free, and I think for the All Blacks, this is like a nightmare. It's recurring itself. What a line.
The Viking.
There goes the Viking.
Yeah, and you don't have the ball's so fast because you're getting gain line. As a defence, you can't make a proper read. And like you feel sorry for their bench that came on because everything you went pear-shaped for them. But they were absolutely. We've been on the bench where a game changes and you're sort of chasing shadows. That's what they were doing. Holland gets out. He doesn't quite have the connection from the outside. The pass beats him. Damian Willemse on his outside. And like what an athlete there. Was supreme when he came on.
No, when you
the offloads work well. Everything. You sort of when he gets the ball, you think there's just someone just run off his shoulder because there's an offload coming.
When you're in a position like this, it's so easy to defensively also let it try, whatever. But that's what I really liked about the Boks. They just said that they're not conceding. Also the fact that you need to score 3 tries more than the opposition. You can't concede try. And that's what I liked about this. Look where Grant Williams is there. There he is, stopping the pass, but
there he goes.
Not scoring. And boom.
I mean, that's...
Because he doesn't do that, that's a try.
It's well worked by the All Blacks, how they compressed our defence, how quick the ball was, and then the lovely subtlety out the back. Damian Willemse can't defend the second last man, but then how quick is Grant Williams?
Yeah.
No, he's so quick.
He's next to the ruck and he's making a tackle on Will Jordan.
But I like that, the intent from the Boks to say, attackingly we've been good, but also defensively we're not giving them an edge.
Shows the attitude and the commitment also.
And rewind 2 games ago, that wouldn't have been there. Yeah, we didn't have that same energy and work rate that we're accustomed to.
And then to finish it all off, the last try scored.
Heads up, look who's in front of him.
Everybody who touches the ball here, perfect options. Have a go to Mighty Williams. Grant Williams. Bang. So at ease on the wing, and no one's stopping the flanker there.
no one was going to stop him there. But again, Damian Willemse saw a big guy in front of him. Let me take him on the outside, turn one easy, then connecting after that. But a lot of the stuff came from what we did within our structure. The chaos came, and we just knew how to read it pretty well.
I thought Kobus Reinach actually opened his eye there.
When he jumped on
in
him.
the celebration.
Yeah,
I don't know if we
on the reverse angle, you can see he's actually bleeding before. But just look at the All Blacks moving around. They've absolutely been pulverised by this game, and it's not a giving up thing like some of them have said. It's just they got outplayed, and the ball was on the Springboks terms the entire game. And this was like perfect as Bok rugby can get. You can see him here, Johnny. You'll see a little blood on his eye already.
Oh, there it is.
There's a bit there, but I'll check Kobus Reinach.
Friendly fire.
Okay, these oaks were pretty happy as well.
No, geez, they deserve it. It's incredible.
And we should actually do a box compilation from last week where there were some different words said to this week. That was ecstatic. But it just shows how much it means to this group. I mean, it was the most pleasurable watch. The Boks were unbelievable.
Our WeBuyMoment of the week. Schalk last week said the player to watch was Damian Willemse, so he definitely got that.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. But who the WeBuyMoment of the week this week?
I think we can't go past Cheslin's intercept as a momentum shift,
tipping point, key moment,
and then
his second try,
the second try, the scrum, and the CR break, and the Cheslin second try.
It's just nice, a combination of all the things we did well. Okay, guys, let's do the quick verdict. What is our verdict on this game?
For me, perfection. I mean, I don't think if you can go 10, but I'll give it a 10.
I'll give it a 10. New Zealand away from home, biggest score ever against the All Blacks.
It constitutes a 10.
Ever, guys. Let's think about it. In 100+ years of New Zealand rugby, they've never been beaten by this much.
We scored 6 tries, okay? We scored 8, almost. We crossed the whitewash 8 times. I mean, it was
If we want to nitpick, we'll say we missed the line out in the 5 meter. We did this,
First half, a few skill execution, couple of knock-ons here, knock-on there, lose the first line out. You go in the half-time trailing, you think, okay, maybe this is, we're watching a horror movie, but if you go through the whole game and you sit and you watch it, our plan was perfect and we absolutely dominated.
Guys, we got 10 out of 10 for the Boks.
Yeah, agree.
Our Betway predictions last week.
Roberto, I need to call Flecky after this.
Flecky
what did that thing say?
You win for All Black win.
All Blacks by 10, I think. 8.
No, All Blacks between 1 and 7.
1 and 7.
You.
Flecky.
No, I didn't.
Flecky on behalf of
went for you. Yeah.
That's why I said I need to call him off.
Send each other to you. But none of us got it right. Who would have imagined that the Boks would win?
I was the most aggressive for the Boks. I thought the Boks by 7 and 14.
I went Boks 1 to 7.
But John, also you got to look at. I was thinking about it. Why we rotate and all of. If you look at the schedule for the next end of year tour now, you actually need 2 squads. From a squad perspective, you look at Damon Dallin and Jesse Crew, they've still got a lot to play.
Yes.
Everyone goes, it's a young squad, or this. It's not. It isn't. It's the squad, the 45, I think is incredibly powerful, Scala. We still got France. Not one fly is going to play against France, Ireland, what we've got end of there, Japan. So you actually need what we're doing now. We've actually I think we're a step ahead. If you look at the gap in terms of that in World Rugby, I can't think of a better squad. If New Zealand, if Barrett goes down, McKenzie comes in, who's their third fly off?
Yeah, they've got to go fetch Mahanga.
Yeah, no one can...
Tell you who's got a lot of depth as well as France.
Yeah,
they do. Okay, guys, quick word on the Wallabies Pumas game. Good result for the Pumas.
Argentina on to walkover.
Not at all.
Dangerous. Chocobaras, jeez.
The way we can defend, or we have been defending up until this weekend, their attack will come alive against us.
Chocobaras, Sinti,
Malia. Oviedo, the 8th man.
Yeah, that'll be good.
They're not a walkover.
Next episode of Boks Unpacked, you can watch next week, Friday, before the game, South Africa versus Argentina. We'll go into a little bit more depth on the Pumas. And also, don't remember, Coca-Cola, such a proud partner. Go get those cans, scan it, send it in, and you might just experience a Bok experience as well. And lastly, guys, unfortunately, the Springbok Ladies went down against New Zealand.
Good fight.
What a fight.
Yeah.
And beforehand even we said, if they lose by less than 30, that should actually be seen as success, considering where they've been.
They're trending up like this, which I'm excited about.
You can get ducked. You can lose 20 or 26 or 30. But scoring 17 points against them. Yes.
15 man more.
For me, that is, I mean, you know, I love the fact in the way they played, and congratulations to Swayze and his goals. They've got a long way to go, but like this is definitely a massive step in the right direction for our women's rugby.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big investment in women's rugby in terms of having more professional teams. I don't know what the structure will be, but if you compare this with one professional team, that we can make a World Cup quarter and be 10-all at half-time.
Yeah.
Go 4 years' time. Watch this team. Watch this space.
Yeah,
I think we'll go far. Watch this space.
Great to see. Okay, guys, that's all we've got. A 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And Shimmy, great to have you back.
Good to be back. Who was that guy?
That's unfortunately all the time. We've got a 10 out of 10 performance by the Boks. Shimmy is back. The Boks are back. You can obviously catch all of this on our YouTube channel and also on Supersport. You can watch live games on Supersport. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you to all of you. Please remember to subscribe so that you can watch all of this and have absolutely all of this for free. Just for you. Cheers.
All of this.
All of this. For free. For you. For free.